Welcome to this deep dive. Today, we're heading somewhere truly extreme, Antarctica.
Yeah, it's a place that really defines remote, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it's just massive.
Totally. We're talking, what, 14 million square kilometers? Mostly under ice.
Exactly. And that ice is on average over 2 kilometers thick. The scale is hard to grasp. And the cold.
Mm.
Well, you mentioned that record, minus 89.2 Celsius back in '83 at Vostok Station. Just brutal.
Brutal is the word. So our goal today, using the sources you brought, is to kind of unpack what's going on down there, the secrets under the ice, the challenges, the incredible challenges of just being there.
Right. And the discoveries, too.
Yeah.
Some amazing science happens there. But also, unfortunately, the tragic side, the history that reminds us how dangerous it is.
Absolutely. It's a journey into this unique place, really. And we're using your material as our guide.
Sounds good. Let's jump in.
Okay, so let's start with those challenges. The sources really paint a picture of just how hostile it is. It's not just cold, it's actively trying to keep you out, almost.
Well, yeah. The difficulty starts way before you even get there. Crossing the Southern Ocean, particularly the Drake Passage, it can be terrifying.
You hear stories about that passage.
Oh, yeah. The sources mention ships, like the research vessel Nathaniel B. Palmer, dealing with waves up to 15 meters high. Imagine that. 15 meters.
That's like a 5-story building coming at you. Insane.
Right. And that's just the commute. Once you actually arrive on the continent, things don't exactly calm down.
No, I bet. What's the weather like on land?
Relentless.
It's
Seriously.
Yeah.
You can get blizzards that last for days, just complete whiteouts. And the wind, there's a mention of a storm back in '72 at the Montreville Station, winds over 200 kilometers an hour.
200 kilometers an hour. You wouldn't even be able to stand up.
Forget standing. And
Yeah.
the cold itself, minus 50 Celsius, is pretty routine in winter.
Minus 50.
Yeah. At that temperature, any exposed skin gets frostbite in minutes. It's a constant danger. You need serious gear, serious procedures.
And then there's the isolation. That must be psychologically intense.
Oh, definitely. Think about the South Pole Station, Amundsen Scott. It's like over 1,000 miles from McMurdo, the main base.
Wow.
And in winter, you can't get in or out. It's only accessible by air in the summer. So the crews who stay over winter, they are completely cut off for months in total darkness.
I can't even imagine. Does that take a toll?
It really does. Your sources mention studies from the Australian Antarctic Division showing anxiety levels jump by about 20% for those overwintering crews.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's a unique kind of pressure. And all this, the cold, the wind, the isolation, it makes the research incredibly hard too. Equipment just freezes up. Simple tasks become major operations.
It really sounds like the place is designed to repel life, especially human life.
It does feel that way sometimes. But here's the interesting thing, the paradox. That extreme harshness, that's precisely what preserves everything so well.
Right, like a giant freezer.
Exactly. It locks away climate history in ice cores. It might preserve ancient landscapes under the ice. It creates these incredibly unique, isolated environments. So, enduring those awful conditions, well, that's the price scientists pay to unlock those secrets.
Okay, so the difficulty is immense, but it protects something valuable. Let's shift to those secrets beneath the ice. That sheet is, what, 2.16 kilometers thick on average, holding 60% of the planet's fresh water? That's vast.
It's staggering. And one of the big ideas supported by evidence is that Antarctica wasn't always this frozen wasteland. It used to be. Different.
You mean like warmer? Part of that old supercontinent, Gondwana?
Precisely. The sources talk about fossils found there, plant fossils, even dinosaur fossils, like Corallophosaurus, a 71-million-year-old dinosaur fossil found back in 1991.
A dinosaur in Antarctica.
Right. It tells you the climate was vastly different, warm enough for complex life, for forests.
That just blows my mind. It completely changes how you picture the continent. Now, there's also that more speculative stuff, ancient civilizations maybe being buried there. The sources say no concrete evidence, but it captures the imagination.
It definitely does. And maybe some of that speculation gets fueled by other weird discoveries. Like, remember in 2017, they found 91 volcanoes under the ice sheet.
91 under the ice, more than anywhere else.
Yeah, it's the largest volcanic region on Earth hidden down there.
So what does that mean? Could there be heat down there?
Well, it raises questions. Could geothermal heat have created maybe warmer pockets beneath the ice? Possibly habitable zones? Perhaps even way back when the ice was forming. It adds another layer of mystery, though. Again, the sources are clear. No signs of lost cities or anything like that.
Okay, so maybe not Atlantis, but still fascinating. And it's not just about the past, right? There's also the idea of undiscovered life now, adapted to those extreme conditions under the ice.
Absolutely. That got a huge boost back in 2007.
Right.
Scientists pulled ice cores from, like, 3 kilometers deep, and they found microbes.
Life. 3 kilometers down in the ice.
Yep. And the DNA was distinct, different from known surface life. It hinted at this whole hidden ecosystem, potentially, that evolved in total isolation. That 2013 Nature study really highlighted this.
Life finds a way, huh? But, okay, all these potential secrets, these hidden worlds,
Yeah.
they're under threat, aren't they? Because the ice itself is changing. Climate change.
That's the elephant in the room. Or maybe the melting glacier in the room. Temperatures there have gone up about 3 degrees Celsius since 1950. That's huge for Antarctica.
3 degrees. And what's that doing to the ice?
It's causing massive melting. Between 1992 and 2017 alone, the continent lost something like 2,720 gigatons of ice.
Gigatons. That number is just, oh, wow. And as it melts, things are being revealed.
Exactly. Ancient landscapes that have been buried for potentially millions of years are starting to emerge. Like the Gembertsev Mountains, basically a mountain range the size of the Alps, completely hidden under the ice until recently.
So we're literally uncovering lost worlds.
We are, but it's a double-edged sword. This thaw, this uncovering, it also threatens the unique life that exists now, the stuff adapted to the cold. Those krill populations, for instance, studies suggest they've declined by like 40%.
40% decline. That's huge for the ecosystem.
It is. So it's this race. We might uncover secrets from the past as the ice melts, but we risk losing unique present-day ecosystems. And it's happening fast.
That really puts the pressure on. Let's zoom in on one specific discovery that really captured headlines. Lake Vostok.
Ah, yes. Lake Vostok, a landmark discovery. It's this enormous lake, liquid water, buried under almost 4 kilometers of ice.
4 kilometers down, and it's been isolated for how long?
Estimates are over 25 million years. Think about that. Sealed off from the rest of the world since the Miocene epoch. It's a pristine time capsule.
Incredible. How did they even find it and reach it?
Russian scientists first detected it in the 90s using ice-penetrating radar. And getting there, well, that took decades of careful drilling through all that ice. They finally break through to the lake water in 2012. A massive undertaking.
And the payoff. What was in the water?
Life, just like the ice cores suggested could be possible. They found microorganisms, bacteria like actinobacteria, that had evolved to survive in conditions you'd think were totally sterile. Complete darkness, immense pressure, very little nutrient exchange.
So life can exist in those conditions. What are the implications of that?
They're huge. It fundamentally changes our ideas about where life can survive on Earth. And maybe more excitingly, it gives us real hope for finding life elsewhere in the solar system.
Like on icy moons, Europa, Enceladus.
Exactly. Those moons are thought to have liquid water oceans beneath their icy shells, maybe similar to Lake Vostok. Finding life in Vostok makes the idea of life on those moons seem much more plausible.
It's amazing, but wasn't there some controversy around the drilling? Risking contamination?
Oh yes, a big one. There was huge concern in the scientific community about introducing surface microbes, or worse, the drilling fluids themselves, into this ancient, isolated ecosystem.
Did that happen?
There was an incident mentioned in the sources, yeah. In 2015, some of the kerosene-based fluid they used for drilling apparently leaked. The Scientific Committee on Antarctic Research, SCAR, flagged it as a serious issue. It highlighted the real ethical tightrope you walk when exploring these pristine, unique environments.
So the drive to discover has to be balanced with protecting what's there.
Absolutely. It's a critical question. How do we explore without destroying? But Vostok, despite the challenges, really opened the floodgates. Now we know there are over 400 of these subglacial lakes down there.
400. Wow. So much more potential for discovery.
Exactly. Who knows what else is waiting in those hidden lakes?
It's incredible science. But the story of Antarctica isn't just about the science, is it? It's also deeply human, and sometimes tragically so. The sources bring up some really tough history.
They do. And it's important context. It counters the purely romantic idea of exploration. Antarctica demands respect. It can be lethal. The story of Robert Falcon Scott and the Terra Nova expedition. Yeah, that's probably the most famous example.
That was 1911, 1912, aiming for the South Pole.
Right, but they got their second. Roald Amundsen, the Norwegian explorer, beat them by about a month. Finding Amundsen's flag already there must have been crushing.
And the journey back
Was just horrific. They faced starvation, scurvy, frostbite, unbelievable cold. Scott and his last 2 companions died in their tent. The truly heartbreaking part, they were only 11 miles away from a supply depot that could have saved them.
Oh man, just 11 miles.
Yeah, his journals, found later, tell the whole grim story. It's a powerful reminder of the risks they took.
And that wasn't the only major tragedy. Decades later, there was the Mount Erebus disaster.
No, it's
Different circumstances.
very different, yeah. November 1979, an Air New Zealand sightseeing flight, Flight 901, it flew right into the slopes of Mount
A
Erebus.
sightseeing flight, how did that happen?
A combination of things, apparently. A navigation error put the plane on a different path than the crew thought they were on, and then they encountered whiteout conditions.
Whiteout. You can't tell the snow from the sky.
Exactly. Impossible to see the rising terrain ahead. All 257 people on board were killed. It remains Antarctica's deadliest incident. The recovery efforts were also incredibly difficult, working in temperatures around -40°C, high winds. Just awful.
And even more recently, tragedy struck one of the research stations itself.
Yes, Brazil's Comandante Ferraz station in 2013, there was a fire.
A fire in Antarctica, how?
It seems it started from an electrical fault in the generator room during a fuel transfer. 2 Navy personnel died, another was injured, and a huge part of the station, like 70%, was destroyed.
And again, the environment made it worse.
It did. Strong winds fanned the flames, and because it's so remote, getting help took hours. The nearest support had to come from Chile. It just highlights the vulnerability even at these established bases. Limited firefighting resources, isolation.
These stories, Scott, Erebus, Faraz, they really put the scientific quest into perspective. It's not just about data and discovery. There's a real human cost sometimes.
Absolutely. It underscores the power of nature there, alongside its undeniable beauty and scientific value.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, it's clear Antarctica isn't giving up its secrets easily. It's still very much a frontier.
Definitely. Science and mystery really collide there. You have these unique ecosystems, the penguins, seals, the crucial krill, all adapted in amazing ways.
And then the layers underneath. The known history of a warmer past, the confirmed discovery of subglacial lakes like Vostok teeming with unexpected life.
And the ongoing questions about what else might be down there, preserved or surviving. It keeps researchers going back, despite the hardships.
But always with that backdrop of the tragedies, reminding everyone of the risks.
And overlaid now with the urgency of climate change, that ice is melting fast. NASA estimates around 150 billion tons a year now.
150 billion tons annually. It's staggering.
It is. So scientists are racing. Racing to understand the changes. Racing to perhaps uncover secrets before they're altered or lost forever. And racing to understand the life that's being threatened right now.
It's a place of extremes in every sense. So thinking about everything we've touched on, the hidden geology, the potential for unknown life, the ancient climate records locked in the ice, the sheer challenge of it all, what do you think? What's the most fascinating or maybe the most important secret Antarctica might still be holding on to?